What up, my peoples? And you're probably wondering, what the fuck is this? Today we're going to be talking about the not so famous, not so known, not so owned Vectrex. Now, the Vectrex was released in 1982. This was actually a failure and it just didn't do well. Like, you know, that's why nobody knows about it till this very day. But this was intended to be a like home arcade system. So you could play different games and the games go in here on the side. The console actually comes with is the TV, so it's an all-in-one piece. So as far as that is concerned, it was kind of like ahead of its time. And if I can show you, it had a joystick built in here. I believe later on in its life it was the company GCE, right, which stands GCE, which is General Consumer Electronics, was eventually bought by Milton Bradley, and then they licensed this. Shortly after they released this in America, they also released this in Japan under Bandai. So Bandai, I believe, is still around. If not, they did their things back in the 80s. I'm not too up on new video games, but another interesting thing about this is every video game came with its own like type of screen. So it was kind of ahead of its time when it came out, but it wasn't well received by the public. Now you have like your game critics or whatever back in the day, they praised this thing, but you know, sales didn't reflect that. So the cool thing about this actual unit is that I've had this unit for probably about 15, 16 years. And my mom bought it for me. My mom was at the flea market one day and she called me and she said, "Alex, we have a video game system here. I don't know what it is," because she really sounds like that. And she said the lady wants $30 for it. And I said, "Well, what is it?" She's like, "I don't know. It has boxes and games and a lot of things. And I do you want it?" And I'm like, "All right, sure, get it." And she bought it for me. And later on, she told me, being the amazing negotiator, that she paid $15 for it. Now, I've already since then have lost all the games. This has passed a few hands before it has came back to me. So I'm just glad that I actually still own it, but this thing does work. I would plug it in and show y'all, but unfortunately, I don't have any games to play. My wife and I love arcade games, and we're big fans of like the stand-up arcade games, and this is pretty much as close as you can get to a very, very, very early arcade game. And like if you've watched things on Netflix like High Score, which kind of get into the in-depth world of the video games and vintage games and stuff like that, you'll notice the extreme lengths that a company will go to try to get something to pop off. Like if they can't get it popping in the United States, they'll repackage it in different packaging using different colors to see if it'll work somewhere else, because the world is a big place and you just never know what may pop where. And sometimes it might not pop in America, but it'll pop in, let's say, Japan, and then later on, because of its success in Japan, it'll come back to America and pop off again. Although this wasn't a success at the time, I'm sure it lent its hand in the inspiration of a lot of newer consoles and different things that came out after it. So shout out to the Vectrex, rest in peace, we love you. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Lex1GTPS and everywhere on the internet at Lex1GTPS.